It has been a long time since I've been here in Brighton, but it's always a pleasure. We enjoy coming here. And I still remember the first time I preached here in Brighton Church. It was a Saturday just near my birthday. Some of you probably remember. And I got good news for you that day. That week, I had my first job offer here in Australia. Probably you remember that, some of you, because I was so excited. Finally I can work. And today I have another great news. God has been very, very, very merciful to us and has been very good. My friends think that we are pregnant. We are not. This week, 3 weeks ago probably, I was near to complete my surgical rotations in the hospital, which means I was able to apply for general registration in Australia. So I did it. I applied as soon as I completed the weeks, and this last Wednesday was my final day to complete the 10 weeks in surgical rotation. And on Wednesday, I sent an email to the secretary in the hospital, said, it's all done. Can you apply for me, please? Because they need to send a document. On Thursday morning, 9:45, she sent the email with all the documentation to AHPRA. When they do that, usually it will take 2, 3, 6 weeks to AHPRA come back and say, all good, or say, we need more documents, or we need any other things. And I was, okay, now start counting. But I was praying, because I remember when I first preached here, and I was like, I have good news for you. I got my first job offer. And I was asking God, literally, God, please, give me this good news for this church. Give me this, please. It's not for me. I need it. But I wanted to share it with you. I wanted to share it with you. And 45 minutes after that email, AHPRA replied. The first email that arrived to my mailbox was, your registration has been canceled. And I was, what happened? I got scared. And I was reading, that's interesting. And seconds later, the second email came and saying, your registration has been changed now to general registration. So I just want to say thanks to God, thanks to the church that has been praying for us. And finally, so it was all people in hospital were talking, it was so fast, never happened like that. It's only God's hand. So I'm now a general registered doctor in Australia, and we can apply for permanent residence finally. So keep praying. Probably next time we'll come back and say, we got the PR. Yes, to make it happen. Yeah, next time, baby. So this morning, we are going to go through the Bible and talk about a topic that it's not commonly talked in our church. It's something that we just think we don't need to talk about in church. But it is so deep-rooted in the Bible that we need to have a look on it. And what metaconsumption? It's like a word that I created on my mind, or not. It doesn't look a real word, but metaconsumption. Have you heard about Meta? In fact, you probably have heard a lot of Meta. Meta is a big company that's trying to revolutionize the world. But do you know why they choose this word meta? Meta basically means something beyond of something. That when we talk about metaphysics, we are not talking about just physics. We are talking about something beyond physics. So we are going to talk about consumption today from a different perspective, from the Bible. And we will not talk just about consumption. We'll talk about meta-consumption. So what does it mean? I wanted to open with you Malachi. It's very small there, 3:18. Says, you will again see the distinction between the righteous and the wicked. Thank you. My voice is so soft. So we will define some words, okay? We'll start defining some words. Consumption. Basically, consumption is a word that means what we need. We are hungry, we need to eat, right? We need food, we need to breathe, we need air, we need relationships, we need something transcendental. Basically, when we talk about consumption, we can talk in three aspects of the human being. In the biological sense, in the psychosocial sense, and in the transcendental sense, which means basically spirituality. And we are going to talk about consumerism. Consumerism is the word that it's quite different. In Spanish, consumerism is a good word. But in English, it has two connotations. It can be good, like people that are worried about what they are consuming, or people that are consuming too much. Okay? We are going to talk about consumerism in the sense that we are consuming not only things, but things or experiences that we don't need. Okay? Perfect. So, back again. The three dimensions of the consumption are biological, what we eat, simple, food, water, shelter, is a necessity for survival. The psychosocial aspect of consumption is the psychosocial belonging, identity, love, is the necessity for well-being, okay? And the third one is the transcendental, the one that gives us meaning, that gives us purpose when God is involved. This is the necessity for the soul. So the problem is when consumption becomes consumerism. That's a big problem. When we try to make the transcendental things not eternal, ethereal. So we go to overconsumption. We are eating for comfort, not for hunger. We are buying identity. We are going for brands to give us a sense of purpose, of identity. We sometimes go for retail shopping. We use the shopping centers as a temple. And when I decided to talk about this, I did it by myself, to myself. Because I think we are so involved in this world, as is it working, that we don't realize what we are doing. Australia is one of the richest countries in the world, so it's very easy for us to afford things. I was born in a country, in a region of my country, when the poorest people in South America live. So I remember bread was a luxury for me. When my dad would come bringing bread, the white bread that you eat here, like sometimes gets just thrown away because it's too much. That was a luxury for me when I was a kid. That's a luxury. So I didn't understood so well when my first, one of my pastors preached about consumerism when I was a kid. But now these weeks I was thinking about this and I was like, oh, we are so immersed in this culture that it's taking us so far away for what God has planned for us. And we don't realize. And we don't talk about this. So probably today we need to go deep in what's happening. And it's something critical that's happening in Australia is that we are drowning in debt. There is $2.66 trillion of personal debt in Australia. It's a lot of money. Housing, credit cards, it's lots of debt, okay? 43% of these people will experience loneliness in Australia. 43% of people are experiencing loneliness in Australia. And of these lonely people, 76 have anxiety. So this is not bringing us anything. The paradox is we have more stuff, but we have less satisfaction. So $36 billion are wasted in Australia just in food. That's a lot, a lot. On the other hand, we have so much, but 42% of people, young people, are distressed emotionally in Australia. Okay? And that makes, with the healthcare system, expense around $2.7 billion just trying to help these people. So what is happening in our world? There is a brilliant philosopher, Lipovetsky. She talks about consumerism a lot. And I read some of her articles. It's very interesting. One of the phrases that she wrote is, I consume, therefore I exist. That looks like it's our reality as a society at the moment. And I'm not just criticizing you. I think we need to take this to have a look inside us and try to recognize what God is trying to rebuild in us. Okay? So are we consuming and therefore existing? And I'm not talking about shoes, or I'm not talking about dresses, and I'm not talking about things that we can buy. I'm talking about experiences that we try to afford, or likes that we chase after. We'll keep going and we'll see what happened. So what was the original design? If we want to see the original design, we need to go to Genesis, right? Right in the beginning, God created this ecological system, created everything for us, and then God put men and women. That was beautiful. And when God created all this ecosystem, he gave them food. Remember? He told them, you will eat of these trees, the fruit of the trees, and the animals will eat the plants of the forest. Everything was created. The consumption was there. And when Adam was created, he was alone. He was looking to the lion and the lioness, and he was, wow, they are so fun, and I am alone by myself. And God gave him purpose, and God gave him consumption in the psychosocial point of view. He created Eve. At that point, if you go to your Bible, there was no name to the women. Okay? When the first woman was created, the reaction of Adam in the Bible was like, wow. When Adam saw the first woman, was, wow. That was his reaction. That was his reaction. It was hope, energy. It was, future. Psychosocial consumption. Correct. He was happy. And God asked this couple and said, be fruitful, multiply, subdue the land and dominion of the earth. If we look to these words in the original sense, it's very interesting, because if we are thinking to be fruitful and multiply, it's basically the same. If we are seeing a tree and it's being fruitful, it will multiply, apparently. But in the deep meaning of the Hebrew words, be fruitful is give fruits. Perfect. We need to reproduce, we need to create, we need to populate the earth. But multiply is more on the quality and the qualitative sense of the word. So God was telling to this couple, so look, this is the Garden of Eden. You can see how beautiful it is. This is a sample of how the world needs to be. And look at yourself and multiply who you are, because you are the image of God. So it was not only numbers, it was transcendental, fruitful, and multiply. And when God is talking to them, subdue and give dominion, the word that is used there is a word that I like in English that we don't have in Spanish or in Portuguese. It's stewardship. Stewardship? Stewardship. Yeah, I don't even know how to pronounce it. We are stewards of this world. We are not the owners. So we need to be careful how we consume this world. And then something sad happened. We know how the sin entered into the world. How the first consumerism happened in this world. Eve was there, lots of trees, beautiful trees, probably figs, I can imagine, figs, peaches, beautiful trees. And there was a tree that God has given to them and said, not for this one, will not eat. But then we know the story. Eve is there looking to the serpent, and the Bible says that it was good for food. It's very interesting. Good for food. Is that right? Yeah, it's a biological need, so we need to consume. It's good. But did I know Eve had another options over there? There was no other options there. But was good for food. And then we can go deeper, and the Bible says this was pleasant to the eyes. So that is how we start thinking about beyond consumption. When we look to our eyes and we identify this is pleasant to the eye. One of the very known philosophers of these years, let me just find the name, Eliade, she defines 5 gods that we are following in this world. One of them is the media. Give us a lot of information, everything. The God of information, when we chase that knowledge and we are running beyond this just to consume information. The individuality, the pleasure, and the consumerism. And Eve was just going through this pathway, and at the end, the psychological, the transcendental need and the covet, the word that says desirable for wisdom, is the same word that later will be used as covet. And we will see that. So the need is transformed in desire, the desire in covetousness. That's how consumerism started. Where we are in this pathway? That's a good question. When we keep going in the Bible, before going to this word, something that I got very interested in this week when I was reading all these materials, is when sin entered into the world, everything changed. For consumerism to consumerism. And one of the aspects of the psychosocial breaking up was that Adam put a name to Eve. And if you remember if we think in the cultures there, they will put names to things that belong to them. Adam put initially names to the animals. He was just owning the earth as God has told him. But now when the sin comes, in the first instance, before the sin, the reaction, there was no name to Eve. In the Bible, there's no name to Eve. Just after the sin, the psychosocial connection between women and men and women changes. And then Adam decides, she will be Eve. That's very interesting. So at that point, the relationship between men and women as well changed. And that's something important that we need to think about, because in this world, we are consuming things a lot. We will keep talking about this. So when we go to the 10 Commandments, we will find the 10th commandment. And the 10th commandment says, you shall not covet. There is a difference between Exodus 20 and Deuteronomy 5, because we find the commandments there. And it's very interesting that in Exodus 20, the first word, covet, you shall not covet the house of your neighbor. And then he said, you shall not covet the woman of your neighbor. It's very interesting because that gives us a sense that everything is a thing, even women. a thing. But in Deuteronomy, he puts first the women. Don't covet the women. So it's very interesting. When you go home, just have a read on this text and these commandments and think, what were we doing? And this word, covet, is the same word that it is written when Eve saws that it is desirable. Okay? So if we keep going in the Bible, we will find Solomon. We know Solomon was one of the richest men on earth. He got everything that he wanted. He got all the food that he wanted. He got all people that he wanted, even 1,000 women. And he got all the knowledge he wanted. He got all the experiences on this world that he wanted. And we know that at the end, when he wrote Ecclesiastes, he said, Hebel. He said what? Hebel. Do you know what this word is? Vanity. Now, our vanity of vanities. Everything is vanity. All the knowledge that you can achieve, all the people that you can have, everything is vanity. And this word vanity is, well, Hebel, is literally vapor. When we cook, I don't know, I love rice. Peruvians love rice. So we cook rice, and this is smelling with garlic and onion. It's smelling. If I'm hungry, I will go there and try to eat the vapor. That is what he's talking about. It's not rice. It's just vapor. We are chasing things. We are chasing experiences. We are chasing everything. We are trying to consume things. But everything is Hebel. It's vapor. It's vanity. And he was one of the men that we can say he got everything. He could have whatever he wanted. And he wrote this as well. Whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with their income. I want to repeat, it's not only about money or how we spend money or what things we buy. It's more than that. It's meta-consumption. It's what is leading our life. And Solomon was right, because a meta-analysis of 259 studies, it's a big study, shows that materialistic values are consistently linked to lower well-being, more anxiety, and less life satisfaction. It's vanity. It's vapor. We are running after things that don't give us anything. And we need to remember, because when we were put in this earth, we were put as stewards of this world. Because the earth is from the Lord, and everything in it, the world, and all who live in it. So we are nothing in this world. Nothing belongs to us. Not even the things that we can buy belong to us. And when we put this in the perspective of God, we need to think where our heart is. And then Jesus came to this earth, and he talked a lot about this as well. We just have a look on some stories that I like in Luke. You know, Luke was a doctor, and he writes different to the other writers of the Evangelists. And it's very interesting how he approaches the thing. In Luke 12:15 says, "Take care and be on your guard against all covetousness. Again, for one's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions." So we are running after friendship, we are running after experiences, we are running after people, we are running after money. And it is very funny that we live in an interconnected world where when people can have thousands of friends in Facebook or millions of followers in Instagram, and they feel alone. Because it's not about what we have. It's not about what we can achieve. It's more than that. And Jesus had some history, some parables that give us confrontation to our reality and bring us to think what we are doing. The first one, it's very funny. is a rich fool. So this guy had lots of money. He was happy. And he said, so you have ample goods laid up for many years. Relax, again, consumption. Eat, consumption. Drink, and be merry. He was happy. I got everything. I live in Australia. It's everything okay. All good. I don't need anything. I have Medicare. That's perfect. But what was the response of God? Jesus said, fool, this night your soul is required for you. Interesting. Security cannot be stored in banks. We cannot put our security in the bank. We cannot put our security in even relationships, because nothing is secure. The great banquet. So there was excuses. You remember? This gentleman inviting everyone to the banquet, his friends, their friends start giving him excuses. The first excuse was, I bought a field. I need to take care of this. It's consuming. The other one was, I bought 5 oxen. What? Okay. And the other was, I married a wife. Psychosocial consumption. All of them have excuses to go to this banquet. And at the end, we know that none of these were invited to the last banquet. Who were there? The one that he didn't have any. The ones that they didn't have anything. They were the ones that they were called to the banquet. Another story, the rich man and Lazarus. Do you remember this story? Another interesting story that Luke talks about. The rich man was dressed in purple robes, was very nicely dressed, and interesting that he didn't have a name in the story. It was just the rich man. Okay? And on the other hand, we have Lazarus. Lazarus was poor, just with sores, crumbs, eating crumbs, was even suffering with the dogs. But his name means God helps. And when they were in heaven in the story, or one was in heaven, the other not, the story changes. The nameless one had everything, right? And the named one had only God. And then everything changes in the story after, because nothing matters. No, well, how can I say this? It's not what we have that matters, that who we are. The rich young, as a ruler. You remember the story as well? This rich guy, good guy from Seventh-day Adventist church, come to Jesus and talk to him. Jesus, God, teacher, what must I do to inherit eternal life? I do everything that is required. I come to church on Saturdays. I give my tithe. I help people. I am even in, in ministry in the church. I'm working a lot. And God knew where his heart was, and he told him, sell all that you have and come follow me. We know the story. We know how does it end. And probably today, Jesus is talking to us and saying, sell everything that you have. Again, not only talking about money. Not only talking about money. What we are chasing, what we are collecting, what we are going after. Sell everything that you have and come away after me. Sad, because he became sad, because he was extremely rich and he didn't follow Jesus. And we have Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus? How do you pronounce Zacchaeus? I don't know. Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus, this small guy. When I was a kid, I used to love this story because I was not that tall. Zacchaeus. We know the story. He was a chief tax collector. He was all involved in money and consumption. He was wealthy, but through exploitation. He climbed a tree just to see Jesus. We know the story. And it's very interesting when Zacchaeus meets Jesus and the reaction is opposite to the other guy. And he says, half of my goods I give to the poor. And it's very funny. I love how funny sometimes the writers can be. If I have defrauded anyone, I restore it for he did know that he knew that he defrauded many people. So he was telling, if I have defrauded someone, it's like when we go to our friend and say, if I made something wrong, please, sorry. And he knew it. And the reaction was going through Jesus. And he received Jesus with joy, even though he needed to get away of the money that he was collecting, the properties that he was collecting. So we can see these two responses to Jesus. One of them, he went away sad. The other one received Jesus joyfully. The first one, his possessions held him. He couldn't get free of what he was chasing after. The other one found freedom to release. Again, what is holding you apart from Jesus? I don't know your story. I don't know what you are chasing after, what you are collecting, what is your different needing. If you are going after food, if you are going after psychosocial meaning, if you are going after spiritual meaning as well. I don't know what you are chasing after, what you are collecting in your life that it is taking you away from Jesus. But we need to act as Zacchaeus. We need to leave that all and go after Jesus. It's the only way to find freedom. And if we go to the Lord's Prayer, it's a very known passage in the Bible, we will find again that God is talking about consumption all the time, because that is a basic thing in our lives. And the prayer says, give us this day our daily bread. It's not saying give us our bread for 100 years. It's not asking for something bigger. It's asking for day to day. Not tomorrow's bread, not next year's bread, today's bread. And that is something that probably we struggle in this society where we are living, because it's hard for us to get rid of all these influences from the society. There is a writer that wrote this book. It's Liquid Modernity. Probably you have heard about this book. It's very interesting because he describes how we are living, chasing things, running after everything, and we don't create anything meaningful. Because we are looking to experience, we're looking to sensations, we are looking to pleasure, we are looking for everything that can give us a pinch of happiness. And the Bible talks about a different happiness. I was going to talk about the bienaventuranzas. How do you say bienaventuranzas? The blessings. I don't remember. I will go back to this. I will find it. But we are running through things when the Bible is asking us for contentment most of the time. It's hard. It's very hard. There was 2 masters. No one can serve 2 masters, says Lucas. You cannot serve God and Mammon. You cannot. God needs to be our source of identity, not Mammon. Mammon will represent the world, the running after happiness, the luxury, and all the other things. And we just have these two choices. The Bible is very clear. All the time when the Bible presents alternatives, there is no, you can do this, or this. Rather, we do this or this. At the end of the earth will be this group and this group. There's no middle group. There's no middle group. So we need to choose what we are going to do. And if we keep going to the Bible, to the end of the Bible, in Apocalypse, in Revelation, we will find the Laodicean warning. And again, it's talking about things that we think we need or we have. Laodicean church, the message to the Laodicean church said, they were saying, I am rich, I have prospered, and I need nothing. Some people may think, I'm not chasing anything, I'm good with my life, I'm not running after money, I don't want possessions, I don't want anything, I have what we want, I'm happy with what I have. But think on this. We think we have enough and we don't need anything. When the reality is that we are rich, that we are poor, that we are blind and naked. Jesus is offering us real wealth, not wealth that money can buy. He's offering us. And he's offering clothes that don't have brand. He's offering a white cloth that will represent the justice of Jesus. That's something that we cannot buy, that we cannot chase after. He wants to give us these things. Gold refined in fire is true wealth. Fire tasted and proven. White garments, the true identity, the Christ righteousness, and hyssop, the true perception. We are so immersed in this world, in the culture of this world, that probably we are not having a real look at what is happening around the world. We were talking this morning in the Brazilian Sabbath school that everything is looking that the world is going to an end. We are very near to the end. But how we are looking to this end? Have we realized deeply in our hearts that that is happening? We need to have this true perception. We need to have this. There is only two paths. It's funny. I put the Black Friday because everyone knows this. Is the epitome of the consumerism. You'll see in the last Black Friday on the Boxing Day here in what's called the outlet here, Harbour Town. Thank you. In Harbour Town, there was the line of cars was big enough. There was not enough space. So everyone chasing after things, after identity, after brands. That leads us to egocentrism, materialism, consumption. And at the end, when we talk about the mark of the beast, again, when we go to Revelation, and it's talking about the mark of the beast, it's again talking about consumption. Because it's talking about who would buy or not buy things. But we have something in the Bible as well that was created there in the beginning when time didn't exist. Because time is only a reality for us. And when God created the week, he created a time, a space in time that is called Sabbath, when we can stop. When the Israelites were walking into the desert, they have this Sabbath that they should rest. It's a time that we don't need to go chasing in a world that it is chasing after time. You will hear a lot I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. Let's meet somewhere. I don't have time. I don't have time. And I'm one of these persons. I'm the people because I'm working a lot and I say all the time, I don't have time. And the Sabbath is a special moment for us to rest and stop. The Sabbath, the white Sabbath, I put it there, just to contrast the Black Friday, can give us generosity, can make us generous, can give us transcendent, a reality in connection with God, and can teach us contentment. Because I think if I were not Adventist, I will be working on every Saturday just to make money, as many people do. And that's something that, thanks God, was created for well-being. And again, in Revelation, we find that this world is not belonging to us. That calls us as well to be careful with what we have in this world. As a Seventh-day Adventist, as a children of God, we need to take care of this world. We need to be stewards of this world. Not only about just buying things, but we need to be careful with what is happening in this world, in all that we can do. Fear God and give him glory. Why? Worship him who made heaven and earth, the sea and the springs of water. Again, God is the creator. And God has created us with a purpose. What is this purpose? We need to go to the Bible, from the beginning to the end, to find again. And I'm not here to give you an answer to that. I think we have gone through a lot of verses that will make you think what consumerism means in your life. Maybe it's not money, maybe it's other thing. But it's only you that you need to discover what's happening in your life. The Sabbath, again, is the antidote to the consumerism in the Bible. We can rest, we can remember that God's the creator, and we can resist on this weekly cycle of consumerism. To finalize this, I just wanted to remember this text from Matthew. We can be successful in this world. We can have what we need. But don't hold on this. I will just invite you to put all your trust, all that you have, all that you need to live in the hands of God. Because one day we will rejoice, and one day we will be glad. Because great is our reward in heaven. Not here. Okay? Not here. May God help us to go through this week with a different approach and to find yourself, in your heart, what is holding you apart from God. God bless you.